that shield used to be. He now has 2 150 HP shields, and well, he is still in the roster, and quite frankly, doesn't look too different from our operator selections right here.
No, I mean, it's not a surprise. Like, he was, on paper, nerfed quite a bit, but if you don't get those shots on a shield and get away with them, like with your life, it still doesn't do any good. No matter how much health he has on that shield, if you can't get the shots and get away to get the shots after the shield's like dead, it doesn't do any good. So we'll see if they go with like a construction push, with a utility tunnel push, or with the stairwell push. This is, as I discussed earlier, something that really depends on how you push the Blackbeard. We've seen some teams push like the utility tunnel a lot, and then we saw some of the NA teams recently doing really good pushes from construction side, and the defending team having a hard time dealing with them. But it looks like they're just going ahead and castling, which we've seen them do a lot to try and slow down that Blackbeard, make him have to smack the tunnel or bring something with him. But they are going to breach this utility tunnel probably pretty quick here if they're taking storage first. So they do want to get control of this area quickly, and they're going to bring Lion in there to be able to blow that hatch, try and gain control of that utility tunnel as fast as possible. The key to this particular attack, of course, is the pinch. The question is, so if they bring Blackbeard from one side, which other side are they going to go from? Are they going to drop down the church drop? Are they going to use that utility push? It really makes a huge difference on what works, and we've seen teams do it pretty much every way and work for different teams depending on how they play it.
So Druid, one of the few players I've seen ever running this red dot site here on Kappa Tower, still doing that, keeping it tried and true. The rest of gBots now finishing their clearing of the upper floors and are confident that Euronics are all downstairs. The very existence of a castle on that roster kind of backs that up too. The fact that you're castling off all these entranceways suggests you don't have anyone upstairs, because that would also be their fallback. That would be their safe retreats, and you're locking them out. So it backs up with the no one being upstairs.
It could be an important mind game if you want to make them think that, though.
Yes, it is one thing to do. But gBots droned it out, so now they're short. They have thatchered the wall to church, but Lion is now, sorry, not Lion. Bandit is now sitting behind it with batteries in hand, ready to juggle should Thermite approach it. Lion is still just droning the rest of the area and checking it's clear. And while they leave that castle barricade up, that also helps Thermite stay safe from a flank. So I'll think about it in a minute.
Well, now they know that the batteries are going to be juggled there as Blackbeard's making his way up.
Extrusion picks up the first kill coming in from Blue. Having that dropper blown above him is very nice, and Wesker gets a great kill from the bottom of the stairs now as well. They are going to push on in, and Snooken has got to be careful how he peeks, but Panari gets one. Snooken peeks out into Wesker and will lose his life for it. Thermite charge is going to go off and get them in towards the church, but Bandit is still close behind the wall. Valkyrie's even closer. Panari steps right into the shot, but Wesker will trade him down. Bandit now going to push into Memorial. He picks up Goga while he's there, and it's a 1v1. It's Secretly versus Wesker. Wesker's at the bottom of the staircase, and he's got a minute to play with. That is a long, long time here, and Secretly knows he's got the diffuser. He can sit patiently in this corner, and Wesker now a little bit unsure. Confident's got him pinned. He does peek around the edge, but Wesker can't make the shots count. Secretly, with 3 kills to end the round, holds his team in it for a tense first defense.
Secretly definitely the MVP of that round. I did not expect that turnabout of affairs. I thought they had a pretty solid attack there. Very strong. They took control of all the spots they needed to. Blackbeard got his tunnels secured. They had their entrance secured up to that wall, and they stopped Bandit from being able to really delay them. But then Bandit coming out with his gun instead of the batteries did some serious damage there, coming into church drop area and just massacring them. Yeah, made a huge difference.
Pushed on in. gBots fell for the everything in one place kind of push again, keeping everyone except Blackbeard down that front end. But Blackbeard was taken out from the backside.
And that's the problem with not having it as an actual pinch, right? In that spot, they needed to have control of church if they were going to make that work, and use Blackbeard to help them make that happen, like through those crawl holes that they set up from church into utility tunnel, for example, and use those against them. But he was still kind of moving up slow, and that's the problem I have with a solo Blackbeard in the utility tunnel. We've seen him generally be too slow to really take a lot of control of that area. As you said, opening the hatch above, key part of that though, and making sure that they can't come back in easily, but he needs to be able to get control of that crawl hole into church. And I think bringing someone with him is the best way to do that. So teams that do, I generally see them do a lot better.
So Wesker was in the middle of reinforcing this first barricaded wall here, and they cancelled it to move to the side. So they still now get the shots in from this goal there, from this armory area, in towards this corridor, should the Thermite try and play in there, which they've also now filled full of barbed wire to help keep him clear. There you go, kill hole's been made as well. But they have the safety of this barricaded wall to hide behind if it is required. They also have a castle of themselves, but they are not bringing a rook to the table. They've got smoke instead.
They are setting up their C4 throw hole, though. as they are potentially going to want to chuck that C4 over when Thermite tries to do his thing. But they are bringing the Bandit to do the battery trick if they need to. Typical Buck action here. A lot of this floor being very critical to a lot of good angles down there, giving them that upwards control.
Yeah. Cracks open the floor and gives them those angles in and sees what's waiting for him. He'll probably grenade down in a moment once he checks for trophy systems to keep sure it's safe. Take out the camera from above as well, just for safety errors.
I like that gBots are bringing a Thatcher here so that way they can deal with the Bandit juggling a little bit easier.
Drones loses life to the teammate's drone, but the barbed wire does go down. Still a lot of drones swarming in from other angles here as Snookin's one of the few players inside the site, and unsurprisingly now Blackbeard is here, droning this back corridor with his pirate hat on in the pit, just checking this clear for himself. That becomes his push, that becomes his entire function to get through that blue corridor. If he can get into armor, he becomes damn near unkillable, even with the nerfed shield. So if he can get through there thanks to a distraction or pressure from this front side from the rest of his team, could be devastating for gBots.
It's all about timing when it comes to an attack on Clubhouse Basement for sure. Although right now they're definitely slowed down quite a bit. Just clearing out all this barbed wire, clearing out this area, securing as much as they can of their sides and back before they push in. And now that push comes. Smoke
grenades going off to cover secret release Thermite plant. He will put it down on the wall and it's going to blow clean open. Lion moves up close though. Look how close he is now. He's got that shotgun in hand, which is why he's there. Despite Capital's asphyxiating bolt going through the hole, it won't touch him as it's deep in. Going to fire another one to the bar though, and that will get Lion easily done. Panari knowing exactly how they're going to play that and keeping that smoke pinned. Dread though, still inside the bar, is now underneath the table, and Panari gets another one, secretly pushes in, and that means Goga's going to step out, but a quick crossfire means Goga gets two as they line on up, and Panari finally falls. Down the staircase comes Snookin, and Wesker's waiting for him with a very aggressive angle, but the drone will come through first. Smart play from Snookin is immediately killed off, means he now knows where Wesker is. Does he have any grenades left in his arsenal? He doesn't, so while they know it, they can't do much about it yet. Shutek's pushing in the other way. Wesker comes through the peak, misses the important shots, and will get downed. There it is. Snookin realizing there's a camera above his head. Now Renulis is making that push down blue. He's got a good crossfire here onto the bar, but Shutex is pushing in. Takes out a trophy, and Extrusion is now pushing out a little more aggressively in Armory. Still only got one defender left on his feet. It is Extrusion to take down Snookin to begin with. Cautiously looks behind him as he knows Renulis is in blue here. But the diffuser is down. Renulis now just holding the angle through the wall. The impact nades will give a slight difference of vision, but not quite enough, and he's going to turn his backside to it now. Renulis can't quite get the angle. Extrusion still pushing forward onto him. Blackbeard is hiding in the corner. Nice still flick around. Doesn't get the kill shot, but with a second peek, Renulis will.
That's what I mean about that Blackbeard attack, though. Like you said, taking control of Armory and taking control of that kill hole right there, the crawl hole, made a huge difference. I like to use the impact grenade, though, to give himself the visibility, but also gave away his position. Blackbeard then could be a little more prepared for that. Had he set that up ahead of time, might have been more useful, but obviously a lot riskier. I liked the way the attackers played distance and used the range to their advantage. Knowing that Church is such a shotgun-heavy play, staying back and killing Valkyrie, killing Smoke from a distance, not letting them get that shotgun in there, I think was a big part of the reason they won that fight. Yep. Where they used the asphyxiating bolt to take out Smoke, and then they just played distance and got that angle right there. You know, you saw Buck playing distance a little maybe too long upstairs with Shutex, but he came down at the right time to do some damage, and they managed to pull it off.
Yeah, very nicely played and a solid, well thought out attack here. But now, as they are back onto defense, they have to go upstairs into the bar. This is a much tougher affair, especially in this day and age. But let's once again have a look at the change in setups here for the attacking teams. And gBots are bringing themselves a Twitch drone to the party, but it doesn't last very long. So, Twitch drone now available in the prep phase. Doesn't become much of a factor here for Euronics. I don't even think it killed a single camera. I believe it spawned over here. Came into strip, and yeah, won't have done a single bit of work to that. So a completely wasted Twitch drone. Yeah, you don't get two regular drones either now. So now he's down to one Stroke drone left, and that's it. So you really got to be smart about how you use the new Twitch. So Shutek's making a couple of holes in towards the B-bomb site with those impact nades, and then some shots from his MP5 to make sure the angles are right. Renulis. Jaeger dropping the trophy system or two in. Meanwhile, Panari comes back down the stairs. Extrusion is outside. Yeah, Kennels, Goga is out there with him, but ESG playing a very central defense here with most of the players around the middle of that bar.
Looks like they could be considering a B push, as they do have Thatcher over there, but then we have a lot of the other people on this side as well. So you might just be up here to clear cash out and clear the bedrooms out, just to make sure the top floor is secure for someone to secure that hatch and gym.
Yeah, Wesker is currently droning through the bedrooms, and Gogo was at the windows, and there you see Thatcher's drone doing cash room as well. So they're making sure these floors above are completely empty and clean first, with the use of trapdoors and just straight down through the floor holes. They are to be sure, but Panari just hid from Wesker's drone there
Just
right
barely.
to the end of that scan.
I think if I was Thatcher at this point, I would kind of fake like we were going to go for a B push, just to keep him a little more distracted on that side, to make this part a little bit easier. But that's going to give away that they're there. So not a lot to do at that point.
So Panari in the staircase, as you mentioned, didn't quite get droned. Now they're sledging in, and there we go. It's going to leap straight in. Gogo over Panari's head does a little bit of damage, but nothing too serious. And now Sledge just edges across the gap as well. C4 will go up, but nowhere close, but it does give Panari the safety to back away, and the defense have the advantage. Panari realizing that he's got nowhere really to fall back to, so he's actually just going to have to go back and play in the very same spot. He might catch this grenade to the head first. Goes up, down, and lands above him. Takes a little bit of damage, but nothing serious, and he's still on his feet in the kitchen. He's got about 10 HP left. We'll see what he can do with it in a minute, because this gBots attack is starting to slow down a little now that they realize they're in a bit of a tough spot.
Snookin's going to make things hard for him with that pulse device as well, just seeing when it's clear to push up the stairs for Valkyrie.
More C4s thrown up, more grenades there, as now Drid is the man pushing down this staircase, as he has a little bit more health than the Sledge. He has put his Claymore down elsewhere. I believe that's going to be on the cash window, so no one can flank out from behind them there, but with 50 seconds on the clock, they've got to make a move here. There is... Oh, no, that must have been Twitch's Claymore. That's the only other one placed. And Thatcher has one? Yeah, Thatcher hasn't placed his, so that's only Twitch's one down there. Panari is right in that corridor and can be seen here by Lion. You can see the gun. Renulis is behind the gun, behind the bomb right here. Lion going to go for the plant. Panari, they are aware of his spot, but he's not going to move. Drid is watching the angle. Plant is going to go down.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Now going to be a retake here for Euronics. He's looking to go behind. Shutex is coming around to join him. Panari goes up the staircase. They do team down, but they do get Drid down. Still going to be aware of the Sledge that's upstairs. He's moved around outside. He's looking at a much tighter angle on the diffuser now as Lion picks up secretly. Extrusion picks up Renewers. Panari is upstairs above the trapdoor. Shots rattling up that way. Shutex now coming up close with that 3 armor. He's looking up above where his teammate is there. There's a swarm of gBots players in towards the strip club. Shutex keeping an eye on Thatcher that's in here. Pulse going to peek around the corner, but Wesker will shoot him in the back for the kill. gBots lose Lion. Snookin pushing forward. Now Panari is going to jump over the top of the pool table. It's getting tagged up, and Wesker will get the final kill shot as they were running low on time, and it's a good round for gBots.
I don't think I've seen that strategy before. The plant right there with the Claymore, or yeah, the Claymore, and then guarding it from outside like that with that angle. Pretty interesting strategy. I mean, I suppose if you know that they're going to do that, there's that window you can jump out on the staircase to kind of flank around, but definitely interesting, and it worked out for them in the end. I liked that standoff on the staircase. You had Valkyrie just waiting for Twitch to push, Twitch waiting for Valkyrie to push. Eventually the push happened when it had to towards the end. But that's the thing is, you know, you want to keep control of that top floor, and having someone that can help you do that makes a big difference. But it was surprising how long that standoff stood for.
Yeah, and even when it did finally break, Euronics ended up team killing each other.
Yeah.
Back and forth trying to get that Twitch kill. See now, as they are back onto attack, they're going to be attacking the basement again. gBots finally on the board. But they've got to rethink their basement defense because it was picked apart expertly by Euronics last time over. They're running the same operators again. Let's see if they rethink their positioning this time, or if they have found the holes in their defense.
Yeah, they're going to have to decide whether or not they want to do that battery juggle, if it's worth it or not. The attackers, though, not bringing the Thatcher, they don't really feel like they need to go with that route. So it's a question of whether or not Blackbeard's going to do his thing in the utility tunnel again and make an impact, or if it's just going to be all one-sided, let's all stack our people up kind of thing. We saw gBots do that, but Euronics playing a little bit smarter. So gBots are going to have to compensate as well. We do see the castle again, castling up that utility section, which, again, slows Blackbeard down, but doesn't do a whole lot when he can just walk up and smack it 12 times. Although we have seen occasionally some good shots in the feet from some teams taking out a Blackbeard when he tries to shoot back.
So it's right on board with Panari as he makes his way towards the bar in the building. The defenses are all set up, and it's time for Euronics to make their push in. He punches open the bar window while his team drones around and have already called out that it's clear on the inside. Now the drones are heading to the floors above. You see secretly droning kitchen as well. He's just watching the staircase in case anyone either late peeks it or even late flanks down again. Pushing through the floor, make sure there's no one waiting at the bottom of the staircase for a surprise kill, but the drone also just got down there to confirm that's not the case.
I have to say, one thing I like about this map sometimes that is a bit different from the other ones is how quickly the attackers take control of the top floors and how often it becomes about attacking just that bottom floor. Some of the maps that are 5 on site still don't necessarily play out as fast, like Oregon is one where it can be a little harder to clear out all the top floors first.
Slightly different play then here from Euronics now. They've got the kitchen dropper open despite the C4 risk. They've got the the construction tunnel open with Blackbeard hiding inside it. And now Shutex is rotated around upstairs to join the rest of his team, but it does look like it's a big B push coming here. Wesker making eyes up through this hole in the floor as Drid picks up the kill onto Shutex, who rotated in towards the garage dropper. Drid, though, however, will be shot down and finished off by Renewals from inside the construction tunnel. So he does trade that kill back. Snooken leaving his drone in that angle well so the dead man can watch for the flank and then keep an eye on down towards B. This is where Euronics are putting a severe amount of pressure, but right now waiting down in there. Extrusion doesn't seem too worried about the shots coming his way or the pressure coming on him. He's staying right underneath that trapdoor.
This is going to be Blackbeard to kind of push him out of that. Let's see if he could make this work. Renewal's finally getting ready to make that push again. Panari needs to get in there and put that additional pressure on, though.
Drone's coming down the front. Gogo will have been spotted in Memorial as he kills off that drone. Panari now cautious as the smoke is keeping him pinned a little away. Renewals taking a little bit of damage to the shield and himself here. Has to fall back a bit further as Wesker is keeping the shots coming. Snooken still moving around inside the kitchen, and the freezer is looking down through all these different holes trying to find this castle that we know is still down there and underneath. Said he's going to grenade down. I think it's going straight to a trophy. Yeah, it is. There it goes. Gets zapped out. Going to grenade, try and bounce it back and land it next to the bomb. That one goes off, but nowhere close. He's going to drop straight in. Castle's right behind him. He doesn't realize this. Now he turns to secretly gets the kill. That's perfect play from the two of them. Wesker at the back of the site, hiding from Blackbeard, will not survive. Lion in the corridor, and they do team kill. Snooken right on the back of Secretly's head. Lion now on that staircase can go upstairs and may even do so and come in through the kitchen, as only 20 seconds on the clock that he has to stall this plant out for. Snooken does have the diffuser. He's planting right down the end in Armory. Renewals is watching the kitchen dropper, so Euronics are aware of that possible play. Comes around the corner, shield saves his life, and Renewals will get that kill. Easy peasy.
That was a really nice attack. Not only did they attack with a solid strat from both sides, but they did it differently than they'd done it before. gBots being able to change up what they're doing to adapt just did not work at all. That team kill didn't help, but the way they dropped down and did damage on Castle there, took control of Armory, really paid off. We don't see a lot of times people trying to take control of Armory so much as trying to take control of Church. So I think switching that around on gBots really threw gBots for a loop, as they're going to be focused on defending Church most of the time. So I liked that Blackbeard push from Tunnel. Renewals knew when to come up and when to back off, and he did it multiple times to keep them really busy and focused. I thought gBots did a pretty good job, though, of being exposed in areas like Castle was and still standing their ground without getting killed.
Yeah.
I think that takes a lot of confidence and knowledge in the angles to be able to do that. However, in the end, they were all shot out, so didn't work out. I liked Lions rotate, but he just didn't have enough intel to know where to push on that diffuser being planted. And that's where you need some of those cameras in Armory and some of those other locations so that don't get shot out, so you can get that late game intel from your dead players.
So, Euronics back down in the basement now, having failed their attempt at upstairs before. They are running that same setup as gBots, bar the smoke to Rook swap out, so they're still pressuring and loving the armor that comes from this, with those two impact nades that both Smoke and Rook have, here by Euronics being used for rotations in towards blue utility.
As I've seen, a lot of impact grenades are great for crawl holes. They end up being just the right size to crawl through or vault through, which is perfect. I think that's what we're going to see them used for the most. I mean, it's better than wasting a C4 or spending a lot of shotgunning to get those holes out. So I'm definitely liking the way they're being used here. The crawl holes being really necessary, especially to get in and out of Church. And I like that they're being used to get in and out of the Armory as well. But that hole could potentially backfire on them if it's used well by a Blackbeard.
Yeah, we'll see if it does. gBots are already inside and quickly breaching open that blue dropper now as well. There, Blackbeard is one of the players actually still droning as he checking the floors above the bar and the office and bedroom area. Making sure he's thorough, making sure he checks every single corner.
Yeah, you don't want that late rotate. And we still don't see that very often at all, but that one time is going to be the time that costs you the whole round. So definitely checking all shower stalls especially. It just makes me wonder, though, where he's going to push in if he's droning all this for his team to enter and take control of the middle floor. He doesn't even have a shield up yet, as he wants to just kind of hustle and then make up for lost time.
Yeah. So he now moves his way towards the building. Gogo has switched up and become the droner.
Yeah, so we're just going to switch up some of the more aggressive players droning.
As they are now just journeying in through the castle barricades, just checking and confirming that it's the setup they're used to seeing and they were ready for from before. They do begin to make their way through the barbed wire at the front end, but of course have to get through Bandit again still. Inside the tunnel, Extrusion is just punching his way through this castle barricade. Takes 12 smashes to get through, but it's nothing too challenging for him as there's no real pressure being put on the other side of it. Panari now holding the shotgun inside the church. He is aware of these doors being shot open. That one came from the bar drop up above, but he's still got barbed wire to help him, and he's there helping that bandit juggle.
So you have to be careful about stacking up this time.
That didn't quite blow the thermite charge. Or did it? No, it did. But the sound effects kept going. So that impact nade through the gap from Armory blows up right here in the corner and stopped that thermite charge going off. Very nicely done there by Snooken. But they do lose out their Rook with that trade. Renulis will take back Drid though. Snooken still inside here, doesn't have any impact nades left, but now Wesker's also watching the hole, so they wouldn't want to do it if they could. See the pre-fire on that spot as Lion rethinks his thermite because he doesn't have any left. They're going to have to push in through the door, and Goga does go first, taking secretly out this time. So the man that went 1v3 can't do the same again. Renulis, however, will pick up his second of the round. He goes prone, actually manages to hide from Goga and survive. Didn't take too much damage either, so now he's got a chance to take this fight, but he peeks into the corridor, just about survives it again. Now makes the way towards Blue and takes out the Blackbeard, leaps on over again, picks up 4th kill. Renulis is now looking for the 5th and the final one. Goga will shoot Panari in the back because he didn't realize he was inside church. Now he's got to go hunting. He's going to go for it. It will get Renulis down. Goga is in a 1v1 situation against Snooken. Doesn't have the bomb. Snooken goes for the peek and gets the kill.
Wow, that was a surprising turn of events. Just so many rotates at the end. There's so many flanks, so many quick 1v1 fights. But it was similar to what we saw before in that gBots, solid take all the way up towards the end, even taking church there, and then just falling apart by all those flank rotates. They're just not covering their sides well enough when they do this. They get in these fights, they take control, but they have so few people left by the time they start to really get solid control of that particular hallway and the church area, that they just get flanked from the utility tunnel, they get flanked from the hallway coming up from the armory, and they just are not able to cover it well enough, despite being stacked up as they are.
A very nice hold from that one-man Jaeger army. Now it's time for gBots to go on their what could be last stand down in the basement here. Would be a 5-1 scoreline if Euronics can successfully attack this site here and out. They've done it once before.
Twice before.
Twice before now, sorry. Yeah, twice before they've successfully attacked this. gBots are running the same 5 operators again. Running the same 5 sets of reinforcements so far. They just got to try and make their shots land or play something else a little bit different here.
If I was them, I would think about where you place those cameras. I would get a camera in construction tunnel for sure to find out whether or not Blackbeard is going to make that push into the tunnel or not. Even if you lose the camera, just knowing that he's going to be there can make a critical difference, as we saw them fall pretty easily to it last time with Renulis. My question is, which attack are they going to go with, as they've successfully done 2 different attacks on the site? See if they have a 3rd one, or they go back with one of the ones that worked.
So Panari was one of those key factors in the first attacks. Yeron Buck as well, a key factor as well. So let's see where these two head into right now as they do slowly make their way inside the building once more. The other guys are still droning for them. Panari just waiting for the all clear on Garage here. Just see Renewal's drone checking in and around it for him as he starts to edge his way in, take out a couple of cameras, and then we'll grenade this tunnel door for his Blackbeard friends so they don't have to punch it. Yeah.
Very thoughtful to help your teammate out like that, speed things up a little.
Snooken then goes inside and starts grenading the barbed wire in this front corridor, just like he did before. Starting to get very confident with how gBots set up here and not wasting too much time at all with preparing their attack, as you see the holes in the floor being made very aggressively again by Snooken.
If I was gBots, I would really consider a C4 on that floor, just on the off chance you get Buck.
Panari is already down the staircase as the barbed wire is finished, taken out. Switch in fire mode's interesting there as he now goes to switch up the smoke grenades. Thermite has already blown open the bar dropper. We'll be able to drop down there in a minute if they want to make that push onto the wall again. Yeah, no battery juggling here from Drid, so they can make it in, yeah. Thermite's in.
Just a matter of covering their flanks when he goes for the thing. And Capito should probably not burn up all his arrows, as they were pretty useful on this last time once that wall got open.
He's going for smoke and then switch it on over. We'll let them plant the thermite charge. He's just trying to tease it. They're trying to make the noise and leave it unshort. They will now go ahead and do it. Pre-fire down the corridor just to be safe, and it will get blown open. Nothing to stop it. Immediately switches to these asphyxiating bolts, fires it in behind the bar. Lion this time is on the other side of it though, so he will survive it. He's waiting for the peek. Nice shot, Lion, making it count. Knew Panari was going to do it. And Panari wasn't ready for the slight change in Lion's position and pays the price. So the advantage is to gBots. He's now waiting for Thermal. Just ducks away at the wrong time. And as he tries to peek out to throw that smoke grenade, it's all that's required for Secretly to get the kill. Meanwhile, Blackbeard pushing that blue tunnels, picked up a kill in the backside as well. Snukin coming down the front staircase, now has this angle in towards the church, and he gets Drid sprinting across the gap. Goga's in the corridor, misses those shots, so Goga will down him. Secretly rushes on inside to finish him off before he can get that downed buck. Last man is Wesker. We've seen him clutch before, but this is a very different story as he's only on 1 HP. Kills off one, sees the Blackbeard, but can't deal the killing blow. He's got 3 people to find and 1 HP to do it with. He goes on in, Renewals will end it, and that's map 1 in the bag for Euronics Gaming.
Showing why they are a strong team to watch out for. I mean, gBots not being a top of the board team, but I expected a little bit more of a fight from gBots. I like the adaptation from Smoke there. He knew how Capito was going to play that and played it against him, but then got traded trying to do something against Thermite. He should have probably known Thermite was going to be on that side as well, and I think he was trying to go for peek on him, but it was maybe a little more aggressive than he needed to do when he had a shotgun to draw him in, and no Capito there to burn him out.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is, 5 rounds to 1. Blackbeard 9 and 2. Everyone thought he was going to be dead since the nerf.
No, I think he's still a very strong pick, but
he's now balanced instead. Yeah.
So I think it's something that you just have to think about. Is there situations where you're not going to want to use him? Otherwise, probably still going to be a default choice. The thing I worry about is if his shield starts getting taken down, I think there's a little bit of a mental tax on managing 2 shields and their shield health. But we haven't seen that become a big factor because they're not getting hit in the shields often enough to break them just yet, because players haven't figured out a good way to maybe get enough damage on them. I mean, that's an issue you have with 800 health, but with 150, it should be a little more manageable, just these players being so quick on the shot.
Yeah, the other look at this. Euronics are just shooting each other just as much as gBots are, and a lot of these earlier rounds that came down to the wire, or even the one they lost, a lot of it just came down to the fact they were shooting each other, or avoiding shooting each other, and that meant they couldn't kill the bad guy, sort of thing. So there are a few that just hindering themselves that little bit more. Once they stopped doing that, those rounds started becoming far more one-sided. You see there right at the end.
Little easier when you shoot other people besides your teammates in the back of the head. I mean, but it gets hectic down there because you have so many L-shaped hallways and places where people are trying to peek across each other. It is a little hectic, so I can kind of understand a few team kills, but it definitely hurts.
Yes, it does. Now then, we're looking to our next map, and this is the scary thing here for gBots. This becomes Euronics' choice.
Yeah.
And this is border. This is different. We haven't seen gBots play on this before. And not only did Euronics choose it against them, they've just shown they are the stronger team in straight-up combat.
Yeah, I think if gBots don't have a strategy in mind for this, this might even go to a 5-0. I mean, we just saw a 5-1, so it wouldn't be too surprising on Euronics' map and it being a lesser-played map. So had this been Oregon, I think this could have gone a little closer, but being border, they're really going to be down on gBots to have a strategy. They are bringing a Frost, though, so they obviously have some trap placements in mind, at least. A lot of windows to jump in on here, so that's not a big surprise, because you do usually enter from there. Yeah, you can repel that middle, but we almost never see anyone do it, just because there's a lot of lines of sight on you.
As I say, this is the next thing, is what becomes the bomb strats, because we've seen a few teams try different ones. This armory / lockers is gBots' go-to defense.
Yeah. I don't feel like there is one particular dominant bomb spot on border the way there is on other maps.
I was going to say, in ranked play and in public play, this is that bomb site, right? But in the pro meta, be it Xbox, be it PC, there hasn't been one that does outshine the rest. No. A lot of teams go to this, but it's more because this is what they're used to from ranked and casuals, and they haven't played it or practiced it at a pro level. The guys that have practiced it always seem to have 2 or 3 up their sleeves.
I think it's just limited scrim time. I mean, the nice thing is there's less maps now, because there's only 9. But you still probably don't prioritize border or favela as much on your on your scrims, because you need to work that out in actual scrim play, not just ranked.
Yeah, so let's have a look and see how the attacker's going to approach it. Snukin is carefully peeking up towards the building as the rest of his team close in the other angles. They are now bringing a Twitch to the party here too.
I like how carefully they're playing this. There's a lot of peeks from this upstairs that they can run out on that catwalk.
So this is second drone. I didn't see whether the first one survived or not, but Twitch drone has been thrown on in. We'll find Goga here in CCTV. Didn't quite get the zap off, but now that does appear that both of them are dead. But they now know he is somewhere inside there.
Probably
Another drone
not
from Snooken's going to
best.
continue looking for him. Finds him in the same corner, loses that one as well. Right on board with Goga and see what it's like to be hunted. And he gets a good pre-fire shot onto Snooken at the door. Downs him. Shutex is now coming in from the window and he's got to be unsure. He comes to peek around the wrong angle and Snooken gives himself up for Goga to flank. Secretly sprays open the doorway but cannot land any damage. Goga is doing work from here. Meanwhile, Lion has taken out Panari elsewhere as he was trying to push him from a different angle, while 3 members of Euronics are trying to pressure onto Goga here. That is leaving a lot of freedom for the rest of gBots to rotate around and play, and that's what got Panari killed. Snooken now back on his feet, secretly going to look to reposition around, and Gogo is still hiding in that little corner and will get the help from Drid, peeking out from one side.
This is just going down really well for gBots here with the roam.
This is not the way I think anyone expected this opening round to go. And Euronics suddenly realizing they might have to respect gBots on this map a little bit better. Nice shot from Snooken there as he pre-fires Goga in the corner after Goga gave his position away a little bit more but making a bit of extra noise. But they're now out of Thermite. They do not have him. They kind of blow in towards that B wall. It is just Snooken and Renewals looking to make their way forward. Blackbeard is here. Drid is tucked in around by the reinforced wall. Nice shot. Renewals takes down one. They have actually already thermited the wall there, so that helps him out a little way. Snooken taking more damage through this wall as he is being beaten up. And Renewals is trying to keep his angle in. Wesker's taken out by Snooken still from that same angle. Renewals is trying to fire in towards the small office. Extrusion tags him through the wall. Cannot land these kill blows for himself. The reinforcement gets pushed by Lion's shotgun, and that will get the job done. Snooken looks to kind of trade it, but he's a bit late. Lion's now around the corner, misses the shots. Both of them do. The asphyxiating bolts go in and they won't quite go far enough. They will allow him to pick up the diffuser. 25 seconds on the clock now. Snooken with 5 HP in a dream against 2. Looking to rotate around towards B. Sprays the door open, just narrowly missing the head of that smoke rotating his way there. Tucks it back the other way. Grenades in towards B. Blows the door and anything that might be there open. Looks now to Lion and it's an easy kill for gBots to round out round number 1 here on Border.
Well, Goga certainly made that a gBots round. That was a very surprising defense. Them really using the spread of the map to their advantage, knowing, okay, they're all going to want to really take this one spot here, but they're going to need to clear security, for example. So Goga's going to play that security area, use that against them, because they need to clear that, otherwise their flank is totally exposed.
No.
Really use that against... I mean, didn't get all the kills, got some downs as well, but the amount of time he burned up on them and distracting so Drid could come around and get that kill as well, that was really well played. By Goga and Drid, just holding them off so long by the time they get in there with 2 people trying to push the same direction. Just did not work out.
It's very nice. Let's have a look then at the Euronics setup, because this is an interesting one we haven't seen from other teams trying to play this map yet. They are running themselves a castle. And they're going downstairs first. This is what we're talking about. This is what teams that we've seen try and learn this map as their choices, as their strategy, that they don't go with that upstairs bomb site necessarily as their best option.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that one of the problems with that bomb site is when that wall gets open, it can be some easy picks in there. But at the same time, if you can control that security office like Goga did, you can have a pretty strong control of the area as well. So this area, though, one of the ones you got to worry about windows. That window on that B site being a particular problem. You see a lot of teams go upstairs above it, use the floor against them, and shoot down through it, being very strong. The tile floor that looks like you can't shoot through, but you definitely can. Is a big advantage for the defenders. We see Jaeger here already setting up some of those holes so that when they go for that plant, just get popped right in the head coming in that window.
Now, he's just sitting on there. He's reinforced a couple of the walls to help himself out. He's got some trophy systems there to help him as well, and will now be cautious of drones. Shutex downstairs still has 2 impact nades in his inventory, so he hasn't used those, but they have used up the ones here, or one of them here, on Castle to make a rotate hole in towards the bathroom, as we just saw it there.
I like how that's given Rook a bit more to do during his setup as well.
Yeah. The trapdoor above his head here is still unreinforced. That will give the guys upstairs a way to rotate down later on if they need it. It's probably why some of those impact nades are safed.
See Jaeger here just looking for any drones, open up some other holes he might need.
He's being Twitch droned, or he was being, yeah, he's being chased by the Twitch drone.
That's not good.
Takes a couple more zaps and it's staying alive as he's being chased out of that floor. You mentioned how they use it top down, and well, gBots are aware of it and chasing him away. But look at this, he's got trophy systems on his way here. He's got fallback position in towards Snooken and Bandit, Panari here. He's got support. gBots breaking open the office wall here using an Ash charge. Wesker now peeking on in, Renewals peeking one side as Goga just misses and blocks away from it to look behind them. Wesker now repositioned around as Goga peeks on, and he does get the kill onto Snuken. Panari in the corner will go down to Wesker, and now the peek comes out from Jaeger. He gets one, downs another, downs two! Drid will go down, but then Goga comes in from behind to finish him off with a knife. While they're on the revive, anything going to be done? No, just holding them up. It would have been a very aggressive play to sprint upstairs and try and kill those three while they're down, but
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Shutex playing the defensive game, and
It
it is now 4v2.
Could have been a 2v2 had they been able to get those guys that were down. Would have made a big difference. Now it's by not getting those downed players, I think they just potentially cost themselves the round.
So, secretly holding in. Now that the trapdoor is opened up by the opponents, they've got to be a bit more cautious here. Shutex is keeping an eye through some of the holes he's made, and the door itself. Secretly watching the other side, as now he is also being chased out by a Twitch drone here. As Druid is having a little bit of fun inside that site. They now know exactly where both of them are. And with 45 seconds on the clock and 4 players left alive, there is a lot here to play with for gBots. The one less, though, as Goga goes down at the bottom of the metal stairs, secretly rotating back towards the site. Druid has a top-down angle on him, but now Lion is at the window with the diffuser. Secretly, he's going to be cautiously optimistic about this. He's got smoke grenades. He can try and lock them outside here, which he's got that for the 30 seconds. Over the drop goes Shutex. Sorry, goes Twitch, and Shutex misses the shots. Secretly now trying to continue, but Drid will drop on into his right, and it now becomes Shutex versus 3. 2 of them have dropped on into the other trapdoor, and the plant is going down. Inside the B site, Extrusion is now looking through the kill holes they made. They know exactly where he is. He gets one. Looks for the second. Cautious about this. Lion peeking around exactly on top of the diffuser. Inside the B site, they're hiding Extrusion. Lion does do a lot of damage here to Shutex, but he trades enough back too. Looks for Extrusion, but misses, and will pay the price and lose the round. gBots go 2-0 up.
Definitely not the map that map play that Euronics were expecting when they picked this map here. gBots obviously having some good strategy here. We saw that there's a lot of the fights over the top floor, even when it's not the bomb spot, because of the amount of control that you get from that top floor. I like the top-down attacks, though. Took a lot of work for them to get that top floor. They almost lost all the way down to 2 players on that top floor. Had they not been able to revive them, that probably would have gone pretty poorly for that push towards the end there. But they did get the plant down, and that made all the difference, forcing Rook to have to get his kills. So, well played. Nice try by Shutex, though, trying to fight all those guys on that particular, like, diffuse spot.
Attackers need to locate
1v, I think it was 3, so
Yep.
not an easy fight for him, but he put up a good effort.
He did his best, and now it's time for gBots to pick their second defense site. This is argued as a very tough spot to defend, but it's another one that can be used from the top down on towards this B site. So you can play up and above it too. So we'll see if gBots go for that kind of angle, and even if they don't, they need to have control of this floor just to protect themselves from top-down fire themselves.
Yeah, we saw that last time. All those holes that Jaeger set up ended up almost getting used against them down on site.
Yeah. So
This used to be a lot harder site when that drone hole was not covered in the bathroom there. That was an easy spot to pick people down that little hallway, trying to rotate between bomb sites, as it was an easy shot on the feet, kind of like that chalet drone hole that we see on Trophy Room. But they did eventually modify the map slightly to block that drone hole. So it's a little bit safer of a spot to play now than it used to be.
So as they start to make their way in towards the building and towards the site. Cautious of all the upstairs windows, as they know to expect some people there. But they know they're okay at the moment. Panari now getting very rapidly up towards the toll booth roofs, and we'll be able to start pressuring the direct floor above the bomb site in a moment. They aren't droning too heavily up here yet, are Euronics, because they're cautious, but they're aware. As Drid is waiting on inside the office here with that heartbeat sensor to keep an eye on what's waiting outside. He does catch the Twitch repelling, and he makes a hole down to the floor below him just to be sure he has a sight line now that that wall is open.
Looks like they want to push that window as well as take control of top floor here. That window can be a little bit hard to get in and out of, though, with all the barbed wire that's most likely going to be in there.
Keeping an eye on Shutex that's still out there on that edge. Snuken is now inside the east corridor, and while Goga is up here to help Drid, he's not too aware of this corridor. George getting shot on open. He'll cautiously do it to make sure he doesn't hit his own team. There's a repelling on the edge, and Goga goes down to Panari. Shutex picking up one. Panari inside that office space now takes down one of the 2 members on the floor above. Cautious of what may be coming the master corridor, but it's no one. Drid is still inside the office, and he's got a shotgun in hand, so he's got to keep it at a range. Panari's now been caught here on the heartbeat sensor through the wall. Drid staying down in the corner. Shutex is just outside the window.
Attackers have recovered their
Trading around. Wesker with a great shot onto Panari with that 1D to finish him off after downing him, taking him very, very low himself though. C4 coming out to try and stop the push coming his way, and Drid does the same thing to flank up. Drid will get down, but Wesker will trade back the kill onto Shutex, and this took too long for Euronics here. gBots are picking them apart as they spend all their time trying to go for the roams, and they got picked off. Secretly finished while he's trying to plant. Renulas is the last man outside, and now he's got 4 gBots to find again. And I love this switch up from gBots.
Definitely not going with a 5-1 like we just saw on the previous map.
It's got 45 seconds, and he's now looking to try and edge his way in through the barbed wire. There are shots coming in from everywhere, and Drid will finish him off with the shotgun from above as he sat there on top of that hole the entire game to do exactly that.
Drid was definitely a thorn in their side. Yeah, we can't hear it because we don't hear their comms, but you know he had to have been calling out a lot of positions from that spot, making it much more difficult for them to surprise anyone. And I think what we're seeing here from gBots, especially against Euronics, is so much roam fighting and flanking around, using that top floor. Top floor nicely designed to have a lot of spots to rotate around other people and open holes in walls and do a lot of wall banging. So the upstairs being the real battlefield of this map, for sure, regardless of where the bomb site is. We've seen all 3 bomb sites, and no matter where it is, fighting up for the top is the definitive thing. gBots showing that that is their strength on this map, giving them a 3-0 lead already.
That was beautiful. They let the Euronics guys close on in and get in and close to those roamers. They killed off 1, and they let them get right on top of Drid, and then flank up behind them because they know they're not paying attention to what's behind. They know there aren't many drones around, and they just use it to stab them in the back with beautiful timing there. Wesker getting up 1, and then Shutex being taken out in the side from another, and really, really nice work there from gBots. And they're starting to look like, this is what I mentioned, the team that we hadn't been seeing for earlier weeks. They just didn't have that cohesion as a group. That is there. That was beautiful.
Using that pulse as part of the team instead of just a roamer playing by himself.
Now, Euronics are back onto the floor above. They are not bringing the castle to the table. They are bringing themselves Pulse still, though. Other than that, they're sticking with those tried and true.
So at this point, I almost wonder if they might want to put a roamer downstairs, just because so much of the attack is going to come from upstairs. Having someone that can late rotate up the stairs might be a big asset to them. There are 2 stairwells. However, both of those stairwells are not necessarily in the best of places for flanks unless you happen to know exactly where you're flanking up to. So it is a little more difficult than some other maps to do that late rotating flank. It's not like Chalet where you've got 3 maps and all kinds of different spots you can use.
So Gogo droning in from this office side, and that thermite will be up on the wall. Wesker is nading his way in towards the CCTV office, while Drid is droning it with his shock drone, checking that it is completely open and clear for them. We'll confirm that it is as he heads on into the main corridor. Already done his job taking out most of the cameras. We'll take out a couple more to make sure they're completely unawares. And then check the other corners as he then goes to go and join his team inside the site as Wesker takes over the droning duties. Gogo now inside starts to make holes towards the thermite wall here, as they know they need to make their way in through this. They need to get this open and clean it out if they want to put the right kind of pressure onto that A site, but at the same time, their thermite is on the other side of the map, so this might just be a distraction here, hearing that outside. Ryan doesn't have anything to thermite on this wall, but will do once he gets inside. They have downed and reset Wesker already, so he's taken a bit of punishment, but with a good Twitch drone now on the edge. A nice kill from that Pulse, but he will be traded by Drid, who's on the other side. He does impact nade it, run his way out there, kills off Lion with the diffuser, and that's the thermite down. But a trade out for Pulse. We'll see if it's worth it or not. I think it is.
All this late droning here is going to really pay off for them, though, taking control of this. You see 3 drones, or at least 2 drones, just going around hunting these guys down.
Gogo spraying in towards the door as a couple of extra holes are being made to give them a different angle. Inside the site, Smoke, Jaeger puts his head around it and Gogo takes it off. Renewal's down. Yes, they can't thermite their way into the site now, but if they start killing people off like this, they can just walk in through the door. Good kill comes out for Rook onto 1, and Sledge is taken very, very low. Flank comes in as Extrusion will trade him out quickly, but he's already killed off Drid. Now Extrusion very, very low will be taken down from behind as well by Panari. Shot straight up through, and Gogo has to rethink this now. Coming to the main corridor, he does down the Rook, and it becomes a 1v1. Gogo, though, not a lot of health in his name, and Panari has plenty to play with. 30 seconds on the clock is a lot of time. Gogo does have control of the diffuser, but he's not entirely aware of this. And, well, Panari is watching the different angle at the moment, thinking he might come from the master corridor. So, Diffuser picked on up, in towards B he heads. Panari still watching this main corridor. It's 15 seconds tick down. Gogo starts to crawl his way into the site. Panari still watching this main corridor, watching the further angle. Now the plant's going to go down. Panari hasn't heard this yet, and it will go off. There it is. He knows he's now in that site somewhere. He hasn't had a chance to move too far. Behind the desk, he sees his feet. One bullet's all it takes to down him. Gogo did not have the health to play with. That will be the first round on the board for Euronics, as a nice, easy defuse goes through.
Definitely not an easy round for Euronics, though, taking it all the way down to their last guy. Bandit here just barely pulling that off with that nice feet shot, but it was not an easy defense for them. So I still think this bomb spot is not working out super great. I mean, we saw gBots defend it pretty well, but Euronics really having a tough time having control on this map. They just, I don't think, have the positioning down yet to really have a lot of the control that they need and to be able to cover each other's flanks. And we're just seeing a strong pick apart by gBots. But credit to Euronics for pulling off that round and getting themselves a point. Still looking very strongly in gBots' favor, though.
So, it's time now for gBots to rotate their defense back up to the top floor. Once again, they're bringing Castle and Frost to the table. No Rook in their lineup at all. But it worked out very nice for them last time around. Goga sitting in that CCTV office, not only distracting Euronics for a long time, picking up multiple kills, and then once more allowing for that late flank rotate from his teammates to come in and help out. So while he wasted all that time, when Euronics were just about to overwhelm him and take control, that's when gBots sprung up, came out of hiding, got him in the back, and got the job done.
Yeah, I liked all the amount of droning they were doing too, and just making sure that they had an idea where Euronics were going to be. Makes a huge difference, especially as we've seen with gBots being able to rotate around so fast on different spots. They clearly know the flow of this map, and I think that's really what we're seeing here, is knowing the flow, knowing the flanks, knowing when to do that is really crucial. But we do see them going for this bomb spot, so should be an interesting one.
They've finished their setups. It's time now for Euronics to make the way forward again. Snook can just check in that doorway spawn, make sure no one's looking straight out of it for the kills early on. Oh, looked to head his way up, checks it, shifts it open just for good measure, and of course we'll then use that to get inside in a moment. And then goes for one last quick check before heading on in. Shudek's still droning the main corridor with this Twitch drone. We'll begin shocking out the cameras and cleaning up that sight line that he can. And then cautious of the castle barricade there, locking off the office, where Drid and Goga are waiting on the inside. Renewal's now heading from the other side as he makes his way forward as well, as Snooker now being inside, takes over the droning duties for this spot from poor little Twitch. And we'll give Panari the information he needs to start cracking open walls and start cracking open sight lines in towards the bomb sites. gBots playing a far more reserved defense this time around, which may be their downfall. It's the aggression that's helped them out from the past. And well, there is some of it right there. Wesker with a C4 up through the floor, manages to take down Snooken's Capitao. And that really will hurt the attack here for ESG. Camera being taken out now that he's giving it away, but with this wall now open, Renewals is firing on in. He does see Extrusion. It's an easy kill as he just walks straight into the crosshairs. Twitch drone's now going through and into the site as well. We'll give sight lines onto Lion in there. Take out the trophy system and then head towards the corridor. Meanwhile, outside. Downstairs, Wesker's still sitting underneath. Goger looking to retire Tangle. Lion is now cautious as he's in the main corridor and taking a lot of damage from Panari. Does not have solid cover. Panari will take advantage of it. That leaves the B site very much open as Wesker and Drid both now trying to come up from underneath. Euronics are looking to rotate around in this angle actually. Panari going to come on out, look towards this angle. Drid is there and he's back to wait. Sprints across the gap, so does Wesker as they both head down. Euronics don't really seem to think they want to go anywhere. Goga's the only man defending A, and that's a bit rough right now. Inside goes Panari, peeks around the corner, finds the man behind the bomb, does get the kill. Now Euronics realize they've got control of this site. Wesker's been down coming up the stairs. Drid is inside the B bomb site. He will take fire from Goga but still be alive. He's got 4 people to find and they're all on full health. Renulis is watching his backside, secretly spraying through the wall. Renulis doesn't quite see him and will pay the price for it. Now heading back into the site, Panari's at lockers. More togs, more shots traded, but secretly gets the kill. And Euronics get themselves a second round.
I like that Euronics in that case almost used their flanking mentality against them, thinking, okay, well these guys are going to be going for these flanks. You saw Valkyrie and Frost doing these long flanks, and they took advantage of that. They pushed on the site, killed Jaeger, and just took control of the site because there was, like you said, no one defending it.
Yep.
So I think that was a smart play by Euronics to take advantage of gBots' strength and use it against them by just pushing a strong force, like their core of their attack, right on site right there from that one angle. We saw it, backfire against them last time because the timing just wasn't there for them. But I think this time they knew they had the strength on site and really played it well. And so that is starting to make Euronics look like they can make a little bit of a comeback here at 2-3.
Yeah, Euronics really are starting to find their stride here, figuring out gBots' play, figuring out how they need to adapt and change themselves to make it work, and making that stick. Now they're on to defense though, but they're going back down to this bomb site they tried for the first time. That really did not work out for them at all. So let's see if they can do a bit better this time. They tried to play 2 players upstairs, 3 players in fact upstairs, and those guys just got slaughtered by the gBots push. So let's see if they can hold their spots any better this time around. The Twitch drones coming through doing their work, then the players just herding them back in towards the office and cutting off all their escapes.
10 seconds remaining.
Last few setups going through. Twitch drone going on out, taking out as many cameras as you can on the way through. But the defense of the upper floors is starting to lock on in secretly. And Chutex once again the only 2 downstairs. Upstairs, Panari, Jaeger and Castle. All still finishing their last few seconds of setup.
Definitely going to have to rethink their setup as it hasn't really worked out so great for them previously, and really focus on keeping control of that top floor.
Gogo already inside CCTV now, as you see Drid and Wesker droning for him through the main corridor and through these different angles. Looking to find what players they know to be on this floor, and Gogo now realizing he's got as far as he can get without droning a little bit more as well himself to help speed the process up. Drones in through the office, does see Castle here on the desk and sneak himself out without, I believe, Castle being aware they saw him. Now he's been joined by the rest of gBots up on this floor and will start to crack open a couple of the holes which will just become standard on this map. Doesn't matter what bomb site you're attacking, opening up that angle from CCTV down the main corridor really does help the attacking team.
Jaeger getting spot out there is not going to help his position as he's holding it pretty solid. The question is, are they going to be able to act on it and get him before he can actually get out of that position? They are all pretty solidly in that CCTV area, though. They do get kind of clustered there, as we've seen that backfire on gBots on Clubhouse.
gBots are slowing their push down. Goga does now go inside, gets Panari and gets renewals inside there as well. Castle is the last man he knows to be inside that other office area, and he just impacted himself out and into the east staircase, backs away and does manage to bypass the gBots hold by coming through that hole he made and the angle. Goga now looking to hunt him down as he will check the rest of the room. There's drones coming through for his team. They do find him on the drone, and that will mean Goga starts to head in that direction. Hunting him down as Capital's on the top side. Snook kills Drid off downstairs now. And that's one. Now the Thermite's taken low and will get downed. Goga was pinning him into the bottom of the staircase. They will be able to revive him, but they've got to be cautious with this. Now up and above, Extrusion is making holes. Wesker's playing with this trapdoor. He's now going to drop down through him with only 52 seconds here. gBots are running a little bit low on time. They haven't pushed any kind of pressure on the bomb sites. This has all been wasted on the top floor. And they've got to rethink this now and be real fast with it. Capital coming down, and, well, Lion is going to think about droning. He's down to 35 seconds. They've got to blow some walls open. Goga's done a great work so far, being one of the first 2 in. But now, there's not a lot he can do. This site is very much heavily fortified. Now the wall's being blown on open. 25 seconds. We're going to ride on board with Lion as the man with the diffuser. He's looking towards in the site now. Chutex is there. Goga gets 1 kill onto Snook, and Chutex stands up, takes out the diffuser, but he's lost a lot of health and he's going to get flanked. Now secretly we'll trade him back. But they've picked up the bomb diffuser. They're inside the A site. There's 3 members of gBots alive, and yes, they were low on time, but they might have just pulled off the plant here. Chutex secretly stands into Extrusion's fire, and gBots do get themselves 4 rounds and map point.
Well, they are definitely making Euronics regret this map pick.
Yeah.
It's just been super strong. I mean, the Euronics wins have... One of them was pretty good. The other one was very close. So it is very much looking like gBots with a solid strategy. Of course, not even going to change up much of their lineup, not needing to. So they're just going to have to play it tight and smart, pick their best bomb spot, stick to their defense that's worked so well, keep control of the top floor, and I think this will be a good win for gBots.
Looking at the map picks and bans, it honestly really does feel like gBots baited Euronics into this.
Yeah.
Not only are they playing phenomenally on this map, their other option, the only other choice Euronics could have gone with here was Border or Oregon. Oregon being another map we've seen gBots play a lot and perform on a lot, so it comes down to, do you pick Border or do you pick Oregon? Well, you don't pick Oregon because, okay, you may be good at it, but gBots have practiced and trained and done a lot of it, so you go with Border and hope they haven't. They clearly have.
Yeah, if that was on purpose, that was very smart on their part. So good job, gBots. Whether you did it on purpose or not, you're purposely 4-2 right now on match points, so again, well played.
So, setting up what could be their last defense now once more onto this top floor. Wesker and Drid still running around in CCTV. Wesker was just putting up a camera, Drid putting up a trap and now moving back. Drones were cautious and keeping an eye on them. He does now make it away as the Twitch drone does get picked off by Goga and Drid here as he does take out the camera. And Snooken very quickly sprays open a window, takes Goga down. He was trying to be aggressive in CCTV, but not only did they have drones in there, Snooken has pre-fired that doorway every single time, and this time he does get rewarded with a kill. Goga, his defense of that room, won the first round here for gBots, but it cannot keep it up. So this time it is now opened up. The drones are giving the information to Panari here, informing him this room is clear. He's going to jump on in there, take out the frost trap. Snooken is watching the other doorway now. They're going to breach open that wall towards the main corridor and can start putting some pressure onto the B wall. There it is, getting blown open. Renewal's watching underneath at the moment, being a little bit cautious of something doing crazy stuff out there. Snooken finds this camera before he gets C4 through the floor this time. Drone in the back of the A site from Secretly gives them complete knowledge that that room is open and clear until they get back and around the corner. Secretly man with the diffuser is being cautious about it. But they will soon send the Blackbeard in there to make some shots count. No, still watching underneath, still looking for something crazy to come from downstairs. That's where Wesker was last time, that's why they were unsure about it. This time, however, everyone from gBots is back up top. Their strat was to run the Goga man inside CCTV, but he got picked off early. They weren't going for the downstairs Romo.
Yeah, that worked out for them previously, but getting taken down so early is going to give them a huge advantage here, pushing all around that site now. So it is a little bit towards Euronics' advantage, although mid at 18 left and 1 kill, and that's it. So
inside they go. Secretly dance around the barbed wire, gets in towards one corner, tries to find a safe spot to plant, and will give it a go. Renewals is watching his angle. Panari going to peek in. Shutex gets taken out through the wall. They do send 2 men forward. Secretly comes off the plant, and they go for the pre-fire. There's kills coming in left, right, and center, but it leaves up 3 members of Euronics and 2 members of gBots. Quickly go from one to the other as they're traded back on out, and Drid is the last man standing now for the defensive team. The plant is going to go down inside the A site. Renewals is watching the cover, and Drid is going to go around to flank from behind. They've realized this is the case now as they do turn to flank. It's taken all the time in the world. Panari's in the back corner. Renewals goes down. Panari stays prone in the lockers. It's a 1v1 now. Drid knows exactly where he is. Now the wall will not let him through. Panari misses the shots, but so does Drid. Panari backs away into the small office now and has the angle. Sees Drid's legs, tags him up, but again can't get the kill. He's detected, but he's at the doorway. He's got wall hacks because of it, and Panari will make it count this time to keep Euronics alive with 1 more round to hold.
I really like the way that fight went down at the end. You had hardly anyone getting killed, all the way up till within 20 seconds, like most of the players just getting massacred in that area. Then all the way down to this 1v1 cat and mouse game over the diffuser. Diffuser being down, of course, putting pressure on Drid. Had diffuser not been down, Drid could have been gone long flank rotate, something like that, but getting that diffuser down, I think, was critical. Although Blackbeard standing a little too comfortably in that entranceway was not the best of choices. So that's going to give Euronics a little bit more strength here in not getting this map taken from them right away, but it's still match point. So
it is.
gBots, all they have to do is win 1 round. Euronics have to keep winning if they want to stay in this.
So there's a very real possibility here now that we could be looking at overtime once more. See if ESG, Euronics Gaming, can hold this bomb site they just successfully attacked. They went for that ham-fisted strat last time around, rushing in towards A, and they did make it count. They knew that everyone from gBots was going to be lined up through towards B, through towards the office. They knew they could just pile on their shots and just spray in down that corridor, and they did it. And that's why we had such a back and forth spray of kills there.
I think they'll have to make sure they really control that security office this time, because that's going to be critical to keeping gBots out and just making sure that they can't pressure that wall. But we'll see if they're able to do that. They do have Bandit, though, so if they want to battery trick that wall, they can. We haven't seen that a lot. There is Twitch drones as well, though, that can come in and just snatch those if he does try to sleep in there.
Twitch drone getting up to those battery spots, though.
Not easy.
Not easy at all. There's a lot of paths that he has to cross to get there.
I think you got to chuck them onto the balcony or the catwalk to really get that in quick through the doorway.
Yeah, you can also just straight up grenade it from underneath too, so they don't necessarily survive all that time. But he is just going to go through and take out the cameras to begin with, while Goger, normally the first man in, will start to pressure the corridors outside CCTV.
They definitely are going to need to get control of that CCTV, though, before Thermite can really do his thing, or they're just going to be looking at two potential places they could get shot from.
So there it is, the walls and floor down underneath starting to open up. He's got the drone checking for him inside.
Looks like they want to just make sure they clear the bottom floor of roamers. Not sure what to do with that. There we go.
Just picking the right spot, below the floor, and open up some angles into it. Now he sees completely the inside of that thermite wall, and they're confident that it's open and clear. Also, they are leaving Rid down there underneath, and he does not keep his eye on the ball, secretly peeking from inside customs inspection, picks up the kill onto Drid, even though he was standing right on top of a drone.
Well, that's why you got to have that one roamer downstairs in this case. They just were not prepared for it, as they were too busy worrying about the batteries. I mean, I like that battery strategy, though, it just opening up the floor below that, similar to how we'd see on Canal, for example, but paid the price for it and not watching.
So he's thinking about doing the same thing again.
Rotating back up, though, this is good. They're going to be searching all down. Oh, not going to have to search now.
It's not expecting to find that wall quite so open, and Wesker does take a bit of damage, but still gets the job done and shuts him down. 1-for-1 trade on the Twitch for a smoke. This late in the round, smoke gets more and more valuable, so not the worst trade in the world. Shutex, though, will take out Lion, and they take out Goger as well now, so it becomes Wesker and Extrusion as the only two. Wesker's the man with the diffuser, and he actually just falls through the trapdoor underneath, and he's about to walk straight into the pulse. Gets the reactions, though. Very nice shots coming out here for Wesker, picking up that man onto Snooken. Keeps it 3v2. Extrusion still just waiting for someone to stick their head out while Wesker repositions around, but he gets spotted out by a camera, and that's going to make it easier now for Euronics to think about where it is he's coming from. They're also going to know, I believe he has the diffuser, so they're going to keep their eyes on it. 30 seconds here for gBots to end out this map, or they will be into overtime. Wesker coming in from B. He's got a tight angle in towards lockers, and there is a man watching it, but he's got to get into the site. Extrusion now cracking his way into the office to come and join it. Wesker takes a bit more damage from that Rook. They're going to try and grenade their way in. They've only got 15 seconds, but there's nothing there left. Extrusion checking the close corners. Extrusion going to be the first man in. He sprints across, but in the corner behind him, there's one man who still lets him get the kill on Panari. But there it is. Renewals gets the both last two kills and takes us into overtime.
Well played by Euronics, really making a comeback here. It was starting to look so strongly gBots favored, a 3-0 up at the beginning. But now, coming back, was it 3 rounds in a row, I think, now? So, well played by Euronics, definitely having figured out, okay, well, we know what gBots' strength is, it's that roam. We need to play against that, or around that, or with that, in order to take this, and they've obviously figured that out. Now it's on gBots to adapt to Euronics' adaptation, and play it a little more smartly, bait them into that, take advantage of what they know, especially now that they're back on defense. They're going to have to really play it. They're playing this top floor, which I don't think has been the strongest site for gBots. They've been playing a little bit better downstairs and then controlling the top floor. So we'll see how Euronics are able to take this time. We're probably going to see them Drid as that Frost running around, kind of hanging out in odd spots. Same with Wesker and Valkyrie. So we'll see if they actually take advantage of Euronics' confidence pushing site.
Yeah, so gBots once again on this up floor, and you mentioned they pushed it with confidence last time, rushing into the A site, aiming all the way down the corridor and lining them up. Did shut down gBots' numbers. Let's see if gBots are ready for it this time, or if they can make their shots count.
I think if they hang out kind of near security office, try and stay hidden, and then rush in right at the site, right as they're taking site, get them from behind, that might be a big, strong counterattack for them. But that super comes down to timing. So we'll see if gBots have the timing to hold the site. It's just not been a great site for either team. A lot of back and forth on it.
Well, as again, that becomes, it is the most played one out of all the other sites on this map, it is the most practiced. Even if it's not necessarily practiced in scrims, even if it's not necessarily practiced in serious games, it is one of the most played, so everyone's got some idea about where people are going to sit.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can make it count on their last chance.
Snooken's playing a little more carefully this time. Instead of going up to the door to shoot it, he's actually shooting it from distance and then using his drone. Really wary of those roamers this time.
Yeah, Snooken once again quickly inside though. Shutek's now droning in towards the office. He sees Goga off into one side. He didn't catch the other man that's in there, so they may not be aware of the second inside that office space. It is, however, Frost who just dropped down into the floor below, so now there's no one to be aware of, even if they did see it. Quick zap towards the Jaeger. Doesn't actually land it, but it does force him to move, and now the shots are coming through from Snooken to try and limit his movement or catch him as he's trying to rotate. One reinforcement. It's a bit harder to fire down in towards that corridor, but it's still possible.
Definitely just playing it way more cautious as they've worked really hard to get to this point. Droning way more. I mean, catching where Goga was a nice early thing for Capito there, because Goga has been a really big thorn in their side in the early game. So knowing where he's at, whether they go for the kill or just keep him pinned there, it's going to make the site push a little bit easier.
Extrusion uses that smoke to dart across into a slightly more aggressive position, but ultimately doesn't get very far. Secretly now still quite unsure about getting inside because this wall is blown wide open. So getting a plant down, even with that smoke up in front of him, is a bit risky. And the floor underneath him is opened as well. If you can see, Wesker is down there checking his camera, looking for where he may come in. There we go, he sees him inside, blows the C4 without even having to move. That's the plant stopped, and the diffuser dropped inside. Panari looking to pick it up, has now got it in his hand. Shutek's watching behind. Renulas is trying to cover the planter. Panari may just be able to get this down. Wesker hasn't shot him up through the floor yet. He is going to get it. Lion gets picked off from the security office. Panari goes around the corner, but Extrusion will kill him. Snooker, meanwhile, is very low. Smoke in the corridor, trying to stop the flank from office from Goga. Renulas is watching the diffuser. Drid's looking to be outside. Catches no one repelling. Shutek's now covering from inside as well. Snooken still trying to hold this back corridor. Extrusion will be taken out by Renulas. The grenades are coming in to keep Wesker at bay. The Claymore gets killed off by that, and Goga will get in behind because of it. Now he's looking for Shutex. He gets a good kill onto Shutex, and it's now Renulas against Wesker. Wesker is clutched in the pass. He now sprints straight, however, into Renulas' crosshairs. And it is a round in the bag for ESG. They have taken the lead on this map for the first time since we started Border, and it is possibly the most important time to do it.
I think that they showed their adaptation in terms of like knowing what gBots were going to do and playing against it. They still had that strong, confident site push because they knew there was going to be those roamers. But isolating Goga out and isolating the other roamers instead of hunting them down, instead of getting killed hunting them, like really paid off. I mean, it was close at the end. Don't get me wrong. Those roamers still became a problem once the plant was down. But getting the plant down forced them out of their position, gave the chance for people like Capito to be able to smoke the hallway and just further isolate them and delay them. Really worked out.
Watching Euronics here, they've learned from round to round and adapted their attack and their defense strategies a little bit each time to deal with where they know gBots are going to come from. gBots, on the other hand, while they're doing new things here and there, they're not game-breaking. Things like that C4 from Wesker underneath. Yeah. Great to stop that plant initially. But then everything else was standardized and everything else just fell into the setup that Euronics was ready for and was expecting.
Yeah.
So you got to do something a bit better to follow up that slight change, that little cheeky play. Otherwise, it just all falls apart.
So now this is going to be onto Euronics to play it cautious, play it smart, keep a lot of people tight to site, and only play roamers where you think you can get away with them so they don't start losing manpower on site. If they can do that and just keep them from getting into the site there, just hold the locker side, I think they could really take this. But gBot's probably not going to go down without a fight. This could go to 5v5 here soon. So we'll see if they're able to adapt to Euronics, playing it a little bit smarter.
So here comes the Euronics attack. Sorry, the gBots attack once again. Goga has been the game breaker here a few times. He's either been first man in, pick up a hell of a lot of kills, or he's fallen flat on his face and they've kind of been stuck without an entry fragger. Wesker up on one window already, eyeing in towards the office. Goga is now joining him and droning from that angle. Gonna look and see what's waiting inside them. Trapdoor is open, that is a hole to peek on out. That's what Pulse used last time, but he only traded 1 for 1. But it was a thermite, which helped. And now they found him waiting inside on the sacrificial altar.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good place for him to be.
So, Keeping an eye on the door in case someone was going to peek out there when he repelled him. They didn't, so now he's back onto his drone. And there it is. Wesker picks up the kill onto the Pulse as they pushed him out of that spot. Now inside the B site, Jaeger is tucked on in there, and he's going to get sprayed through the door from Goga, but he's tucked tight in the corner. Now going to look to peek across the gap. Goga just looks away in time, comes back again now, does get the last bullet headshot on Renewals, and Euronics are starting to fall down, but secretly will start to fight back. Picks up one kill onto Drid now with a minute 45. gBots actually inside this site with quite a few numbers. Inside onto B, Goga sits. The shots are coming right over him. He doesn't quite realize where it's coming from, but a good thing for him, they don't land. As Extrusion is now covering the back corridor. Smoke grenades now covering out towards lockers as the nades are opening up the wall. Panari will take down Lion though, the numbers are back to being even. There's a great shot again from Koga onto Panari. Extrusion is looking to push on him, but secretly will take him down. It's back to being a 2v2, so with every little advantage Goga gets, it gets taken away by someone on Euronics. Now Goga is gone, and Wesker has the diffuser in hand, but he's got 2 people to kill before he can safely get it planted. Goes to sit exactly where Goga died, tries to vault on in, and it's an easy kill for Shutex. And just like that, it all crumbles and dies for gBots as Euronics take map number 2 and take all 3 points.
That was I thought a